Hi, welcome back. We are on episode 54. And where are you taking us today, Eve?
Well, today we are going to describe in details, the famous episode of Yeshua entering the temple and storming it, basically,
Oh,
making a
okay. When
big
he turns
mess.
the tables
Yes,
over
yes,
and
exactly. Yeah.
yes,
I think this has
a
been,
very popular version of the Bible.
it has been told in the Bible, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're going to bring some new elements, hopefully.
Okay, good.
And so it starts with basically Barabbas telling Yeshua, and now do not tell me that you do not want to be the king of that people. So in the middle of the celebration of the Sukkot that we saw last time, Barabbas is dressed with rags like a beggar, so he's hiding,
Oh,
and he appears near the house of Yusuf of Arimathea, where Yeshua and his wife Miriam are staying.
okay.
So, and it was his way to tell Yeshua that he knew where to find him, So he has his
The word gets
antenna
out. Yeah,
and his spies.
right.
And Yeshua responds and he's telling Barabbas, you're playing your role, my brother. That is all I can tell you now. And the logic of Barabbas is the logic of Adonai or Sabaoth, the Hebraic gods. An eye for an eye, right? The logic of vengeance, but not the logic or the law from Awun that Yeshua is referring to. It was this, Barabbas was in tune with this world and had nothing in common with what Yeshua was trying to put in place.
Well, like a lot of people.
Yeah. So despite all this, Barabbas is going to come back to bother Yeshua one more time. So, dressed as a beggar,
Right.
And he was obstinate. He was stubborn. He was unable to get out of his limits, or perhaps he was perfectly aware of his limits, and decided to stay within them.
Right.
And then one morning, Uncle Yusuf tells Yeshua that Barabbas was arrested by the Romans, in a stable on the road to Joppi. So they got him. So Yeshua knows that it was inevitable. That's something that had to happen, But that news is affecting Yeshua somehow, And Miriam perceived that, and she says, "You are disturbed, Rabboni. Why? Why is that?" And Yeshua responds, "Yes, Miriam, this man is true, Barabbas, is true. It is what brings us together, him and me. If he had changed direction while keeping his character, just think of the force that could have changed things." Yeah. Because he was very obstinate, very.
His strength went to not so good things.
Yeah,
rather
exactly.
than
Yeah. And he ended up, in the jails of the Romans. So who knows what will happen with him. So Judas at that point sees the opportunity again, to talk to Yeshua, because since they are talking about the political stuff,
Right.
So Judah is also disturbed by Barabbas' arrest. He doesn't like that. And he goes, "If you had not existed, Rabbi, perhaps I would have joined his troops."
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we know that Judah is a zealot, right?
Right.
He is Kari. It is deep inside his heart, but he's trying to be a disciple.
It might not be the only one who would have followed him too, right?
No, that's right.
There might have been others.
Yeah. So Yeshua is not surprised by this response. He knows that Judas
He knows what's in the heart.
is as stubborn as the chief of the zealots. And Yeshua asked Judah, "What do you want exactly? You have an idea, haven't you? You absolutely want to merge what is inside me with the powers of this world. Is that true?" And Judas goes, "Forgive me, Rabbi. It must be possible to do that. Something tells me all the times." And Yeshua asked him, "Can you tell me of that something?" What is telling you? Exactly, yeah. And Yeshua looks at Judas and he sees that he has a strange flame, in his eyes, some kind of fire, and as if he was persuaded to carry a revelation. So Judas is taking his role very seriously, and he goes to Yeshua, these are dreams. I have a lot these past days. I see you inside the Sanhedrin. I see you with Pilate, Pontius Pilate.
Wow, it's a
Finally,
little bit of a
I
seer.
see the people gathering around you. I guess these are the dreams that he would like to see.
Oh, not that he's actually
No.
seeing it. Oh,
This
okay.
is
I was like,
more
wow,
like,
he's quite a seer.
you would like to see Yeshua take an active role within the Sanhedrin, maybe an active role with the Romans through Pilate.
Okay.
But of course, none of that is possible.
Yeah, they wouldn't want him.
No. And Yeshua responds, I have similar visions, Judah, but I'm certain these are not dreams in my case. And I'm quite sure they do not have the same meaning than yours. And Judas continues, he's relentless. I am convinced that Caiaph, who is the head of the Sanhedrin, and Pilate have more to gain with you than without you, if you manage to speak to them. Your ascendant is such now, master, and Yeshua realizes, he stops him, and he realizes that Judas is tortured inside and confused at the same time. There was multiple spaces of comprehension in his personality, Judas is a mystic. He's also a pandit. He's a scholar. He's a rebel zealot. He's a strategist, who was hoping to reconcile everything. And finally, he's an opportunist. So
the last part is probably what.
He's
so
a very complicated and tortured person,
Yeah.
And Yeshua responds to him and says, the ascendant does not matter for me, my brother. I do not want to have any ascendant over anybody because I do not want to reign anyone. Right? I do not want to control anybody. So everybody must be master of himself. I was born to show a direction, or rather to remind the people. And the direction is to go through the ceiling of the consciousness, blast it to reveal its gems. That is my life. Can you understand what that means? And Judah goes, I understand, Master, but... And at that point, Yeshua does not continue the dialogue, with Judah. He perceives in him, in his soul, a radiance that says, Judas, I am a messenger in his own way. And he was not wrong. Yeah. And Judah continue, he's, he has Yeshua, he doesn't want to give up.
Right.
He says, why did you come back to Jerusalem? There is only struggles and fighting here. What do you really want, Master?
Do you think he was worried about him?
I think there is probably both.
Okay.
Yes. He's worried about him, as a disciple toward his master.
Right.
But he's also concerned that Yeshua does not take a more active role in the political life. Yeah. At that time. And Yeshua responds, what do I want, or rather, what does the power of life try to do through me, the Christic energy? Right. It wants to reveal to yourself, and perhaps specifically to you, Judah, as I know you've been waiting for me for many lifetimes.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
They've traveled for a while, huh?
And Judah is kind of surprised. Why do you say that? And Yeshua responds, because it is exact. And because I'm also waiting for you. So at that point, Yeshua is looking at Judas and he sees his eyes are dilating for a fraction of a second, as if Yeshua had touched something deep inside Judas. A sort of flattery at the same time, telling him that yes, he had a special place, a special role to play. And that's how Judah functions, Right. This is how
he needs to feel important.
He needs to feel important. He needs to feel that he has a decisive and a purpose role, right, in the future of his country. Yeah. And in truth, Yeshua ignores what his role is. So, the intelligence of the divine never show its hand in advance, right? Okay. Sometimes a glimpse is given, but the game of life is never altered. So again, contrary to what the scholars or the pundits, biblical experts may have written, he does not know the role of Judah yet. And Yeshua leaves Judas to his thoughts. He could see that a growing bitterness in Judah, and he needed to do something about it, but himself.
Right.
Yeshua was not going to fix
Yeah,
it.
he can't do it.
Yeah. So the following days are intense. Sick and crippled people are numerous on Yeshua's path.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you can imagine in a large city like
everybody being looking for him.
So they are either running to him or they were brought to him by dozens. And his hands are shaking the patients, deeply, revealing their depths. When he heals them, there is also some kind of deep understanding of why you are sick or why you are crippled.
Oh, that's good.
And so the people are realizing that,
right.
And it helps them to
Yeah,
heal.
it's usually their thoughts or their actions, right?
So the Christic energy is blowing constantly, And behind the wounds, Yeshua could see the clean skin, fully reconstituted. Behind the bent legs or the deformed legs, Yeshua was seeing a perfect leg with a beautiful shape. And behind the blind eyes, he was bringing back the light. And most importantly, among the insanity, because a lot of people were crazy, Yeshua was revealing the quiet purity of the forgotten lake.
Well, I wonder why those people were crazy.
Well, who knows?
You think they were possessed by something?
They could have been possessed, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I would say their religion doesn't help in that direction. So sometimes the Christic energy was saying, no, not him or not her. So Yeshua could not heal them.
I wonder why.
Well, his reason is the soul had not worked enough yet.
Oh, okay. So it's a newbie.
Yeah, it's a newbie, or maybe they needed to go through the pain in this lifetime to understand certain issues. Yeah,
that's so hard for people to understand that.
Right. And so as a consequence, it was tears and why can't you heal me endlessly, And at that point, because Yeshua was not allowed to heal them, he was using words of tenderness, that were pouring out of his lips to teach the labor of time and the necessity to work, Patience. So difficult.
Patience,
yeah. So among the people of Jerusalem, there was also some Romans who were trying to get close to Yeshua.
Oh.
So that's quite interesting.
Yes, that is.
And one Roman soldier who was in a liaison with a Jewish woman had a son with her, but that son could not heal. He was constantly sick.
Oh.
So he gets close to Yeshua and he goes, I know that you will not come to see him, Rabbi. You have so much to do, and who am I here, But perhaps, I think about him just an instant. His name is Flavius. Yes, I believe it. You can. And Yeshua is going to stop. I think this passage is being told in the Bible somewhere. Yeah. And he looks at the soldier and he realized that there was such a trust and truth in him that actually Yeshua could see the young Flavius through the aura of the soldier.
Okay.
Yeah. So the love of the father had actually erased all the distances between his son and Yeshua. And Yeshua feels a ray of light coming out of his heart towards the young boy. And at that point, Yeshua takes the hand of the soldier and he says, go see Flavius, my brother. I see him standing and your love healed him.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. And Yeshua tells the soldier, you asked as if you had already received, without any expectations, like the sand which is offered to the wave.
And I like that. Like the sand is offered to the wave.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So the soldier, is running away, his eyes full of tears. And Yeshua can see behind him in the street, a trail of joy and peace. So that is good too, because the Romans are always portrayed as, invaders, criminals, brutals, but not everybody is like that. Yeah. And the following weeks and months, Yeshua is literally overwhelmed by the inhabitants of Jerusalem. His mother his wife, his disciple cannot even be close to him.
Oh,
It's
wow.
impossible.
Because there's so many
Yeah.
surrounding him.
And so one day Peter comes and say he was euphoric. He said, Yeshua, you won, Master. It is the victory of Howell. And Yeshua is deeply aware of what is happening, even though in appearance the healings are placing all the murder attempts of the zealots in the background. So for him there is no more doubts. Who is Yeshua and who is the other one,
Right.
or was the bad one, especially since he has been arrested. But the members of the Sanhedrin are mute, and the Romans are letting Yeshua continue his work since he's not asking anything.
Right.
He's not really disturbing them. He's not doing anything against the occupation by the Romans, right? So it's really the members of the Sanhedrin who are not happy. So Yeshua is no fool, and he realized that the notoriety and fame he has with the people of Jerusalem have actually no roots and no foundation. They just like him because he provides healing all over the place.
Right.
And Uncle Yusuf and Nicodemus are the only one to agree with Yeshua, as they have eyes and ears in the Sanhedrin. So they hear what's going on.
Oh, yeah, they're
within
there.
The members,
right.
And Yeshua decides to no longer stay at his uncle's place, actually, with his wife, Miriam. Instead, he would be lodging in Bethany or some other places, more discreet.
He probably doesn't want to bring attention, right?
Yes, exactly. He does not want to compromise his uncle,
right,
because of his very high position in the Jerusalem society, So he knows that it is dangerous also for Yusuf, for Yusuf. So, and actually, Yusuf is relieved by this decision, as many members of the Sanhedrin are asking him delicate questions. And even Roman soldiers are now monitoring his private villa in his home. So one early morning, coming back from Bethany, Yeshua comes to the conclusion that the people of Jerusalem had to be shaken now that there was no more confusion between him and Barabbas. So after healing hundreds of people and teaching about Harun and his love, like he did on multiple public squares, it was time to show the people about their excess and wanderings. And Yeshua prays a long time in order to find the best way to do that without hurting, but in an educative way.
Get through to them.
Right. And there was a place in Jerusalem which was the worst in the eyes of Yeshua. And that was the outside courtyard of the great temple.
Oh, okay,
yeah. And over there was dozens, if not hundreds of sheep and goats waiting to be slaughtered. There was a lot of merchants disguising their activities under pious appearances, were in fact converting money coming from the entire Middle East. So there was a tax, and we need to explain that. There was a tax called the didrachma, which means 2 drachmas, and that people had to pay to the priests of the temple for its so-called maintenance.
Oh,
okay.
Jeez, it started back then.
It started back then,
Property tax,
that tax was actually going through the hands of the Romans before being returned back to the priests.
So a little bit was shaved off of there, huh?
And because the coins were coming from all different countries, people were coming to do business and so forth. Sometimes they had inappropriate castings for the eyes of the priest. And everything has to be converted in the local money. I mean, think about it. If you had a coin with even the picture of the face of a woman, that would not be appropriate for an Hebraic priest, right? So they had to convert it in the local money, which is the shekel. And I think it's still the same
shekels.
Today. So in the courtyard, there was gold, jewels, and precious fabrics were all exchanged, So they also sold benjoin, myrrh, oliban, essential oils, under the pretext of doing legal trades. But most of the stuff is about converting the money and, usury of the money. So all this was very noisy and dirty. And you had to raise your gaze toward the Kadosh Kadoshim, which is the holy of the holy in the temple, and its winged symbols to remind you that this was a temple and not a local flea market.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
It was absolutely, a cesspool. So Yeshua feels that it is time to expose this ugly masquerade, and he wanted to reveal the indecency of all these activities. So, and he thinks that, if I have come back to this planet in this specific location after a long absence, it was not to simply be a healer and convey words of hopes,
Right.
but to heal the hearts and the souls that had completely forgotten about their past.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the people of Palestine at that time, for most of them, had completely forgotten why they were there. And so Yeshua decides to go to the temple after praying, at a time when a large crowd would be gathered because of the trading, that is taking place.
Right.
And while walking to the temple, Yeshua prays and unites with his Father for all his words and actions to be perfectly just and in the right direction for what he's about to do. So he starts climbing the stairs leading to the great gate, going inside the temple. And people around him are observing each one of his steps and are starting to follow him. And a large number of beggars and wounded people are covering most of the steps, at that time, waiting for a coin or a piece of bread. And Yeshua knows most of them. But this time, he does not stop to talk to them or to heal them, And so he crosses the large door, and then the large bowls, which are containing some kind of I think they use wood or charcoal,
Right.
to burn, and the columns, and he discovers the inside. And it's basically a large number of small merchants are sitting on the floor, occupied at manipulating a very big amount of coins and some trinkets, but mostly coins. The money, always the money. And among the brouhaha, it is just the excrements of the animals, bartering and endless discussions.
Oh, not a peaceful place like
No.
a temple should be.
Exactly. From time to time, there is the beating of a large drums, which is perceived, in the background as an attempt to remind the crowd of the alleged sacrality of the place,
just
right?
remember where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And Yeshua does not wait. He invokes Awun and Elohim in the silence of his beings, and he starts screaming, "All of you, what are you doing? Where do you think you are? Look at you. Why is it me instead of you who must remember Abraham?" And again, as a parenthesis, it is on the location of the temple, the Mount Moriah, that on a rock, Abraham received the divine order to sacrifice his son.
Oh,
So
okay.
a lot of sacrifices. Yeah. And Yeshua continues, "You who is so busy counting your coins, tell me." And that poor merchant, "Me, Rabbi, but?" And with his foot, Yeshua is going to destroy the nice stacks of coins,
Oh my
you have
gosh.
to picture all these nice, probably from different origins,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
and everything is just swept away. And he quickly moved to another merchant and he repeats the same thing again, And he tries to get to a third one, but he feels a hand on his arm, An outraged Sadducee starts talking to him. "Are you crazy? Is it you, the Yeshua? If you want to dirty this place, get out of here."
It's already dirty.
And Yeshua responds to him very calmly, "You said dirty, my brother? Look, it seemed that they did not wait for me." And while pushing the man back, Yeshua points to an immense pile of excrements behind the man, mixed with human garbages. So what he did, he used the paramukta, some of his gifts and powers. He gathered all the excrements that were, spread in that location.
In one big pile.
In one big pile, and created one big stinky pile. Yeah. And he tells Sadducee, "You see, this is what my father asked me to do. Gather all the immondices that were spread out in this courtyard. If you search it, perhaps you will find some coins. And the Sadducee cannot believe what he's seeing. And
Yeah.
he's probably
Shocked.
shocked, to see
Yeah.
that enormous pile of shit, and,
Oh my
and he
gosh.
leaves Yeshua, And the entire crowd is really stunned, by the enormous amount of shit and refuses, and they wonder, how could that happen so quickly?
Yeah. Right before their eyes.
Yeah. And Yeshua continued, where is this coming from? Showing the big pile. Simply because you allow it. So he continues walking among the merchants, kicking down all the piles and stack of coins, and quickly the place becomes a total mess. And Yeshua observes the scene, he's detached. He's devoid of any anger or hatred. He's behaving like a parent, trying to teach children some disciplines, right? Inside him, it was just love to make the other people progress. It was a demanding love, but a true and pure love.
It's very hard to do something like that.
Yes.
You get a lot of repercussions for doing that.
Yeah. And so it does. You are right to say that. At one point, two armed colossal guards come to Yeshua, and with his hand, he stopped them as if they had run into a wall. So those guys are actually paralyzed.
Oh my
And
gosh.
he says to the guards, why? Because I do not accept the cesspool imposed to this location. Because I want to remind the respect and the sacredness of this place to those who only scream, chat, and gossips. Because I prefer the songs of the heart to the bartering of the merchants.
Yeah, and there he's the one doing it instead of the head
exactly, yeah.
of the rabbis or whatever.
And he goes, find me your leader or a priest to defend what cannot be accepted. And the two colossal guards, are lowering their weapons, and Yeshua walks between them, leaving a heavy silence behind him. Then he kindly goes down the main stairs of the temple, like nothing happened. And while Yeshua walks a small street, Barthélemy arrives out of breath, but he cannot even speak at all. He's so shocked by what happened. And Miriam, Yeshua's wife, is crying under her veil. And Yeshua, carefully takes her hand and he kisses her fingers to comfort her, And he says, my beloved, I must shake everything in this world. So much must be rewritten. Nothing can sleep any longer. The absolute love that runs inside me is not soft. Do you understand? It is neither weak nor fragile or passive. Why cry when you know the source of what is pushing me? And Miriam responds, it is the woman that cries, Rabboni. It is the spouse, not my soul, because it knows where you go and where you are taking it. And Yeshua loves this response, from Miriam. And he kisses her eyes delicately.
It's kind of hard to separate yourself from what you know the truth is. And, she knows that's probably going to lead to something.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So in the evening, after this turmoil afternoon or turmoil day, they meet in the evening and they all went to Mount Olive near the oil mill, and they're going to pray in silence. And at one point, Peter cannot stay silent anymore. He says, I do not know what to sing, Master. It is the first time I see anger in you. I understand the reason, but until now, I saw that everything was sleeping on you, that nothing
slides right off of him.
That nothing could reach you. And Yeshua tells him, Peter, I was not angry, my brother. In truth, I pretended to be in order for everyone to ask what they want to do with their soul, with their heart and their life. Now, nobody will revere me blindly. Nobody will wash my feet on the threshold of their home to get some favors. Now, the Pharisees in their synagogues will know that I am not afraid by what they created.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
No, Peter, there was no anger in me. There was only an immense sadness due to the sleeping and unconscious state of the people. Yeah. Yes, the one you call your master can feel sadness, he can be hungry, he can be thirsty, and he can suffer, even with the Christic energy filling my body. I can feel all these, and I want it, so that I can live the same life than you do. However, I am never a victim of anything.
Mm.
So that's very deep.
Right.
Yeah. So at that point, Eleazar, who, as we know today as John, asks the next question, and he says, this temple is dedicated to the unspeakable name of Adonai, Master. Unspeakable being Yahweh, right?
Right.
It belongs to him. So why are you sad since Adonai is not Awon? Since there is a distinction
The one
between
who
the
shall
two.
not be named. I love
Yes.
that.
And Yeshua respond to Eleazar saying, my sadness is not for the presence of Adonai, Eleazar. Adonai who has nothing to do with this place.
Mhm.
My sadness is for the soul of these men and women who have no respect for the land in this specific place, the ground of this hill, and the energy that seeps out of its depth. Your eyes will never see the rocks that slept in the Holy of Holies in the temple, the Ark of the Covenant, right?
All right.
Since a few family of priests stole it for generations and will never show it to the people. I know,
It's probably at the Vatican. No.
know that this rock is the gate through which the energy flows to spread throughout the city. It is that energy and nothing else that dictates the sacrality of this place, and not Adonai or the riches that have been accumulated in that temple. So I'm going to trouble you some more. Adonai only uses the breath of the light that comes out of this hill. He does not create it, nor does he live in it. That energy is the grace of the Son that the Eternal placed in the center of this world.
Mm.
So all this is quite hermetic, difficult to understand. You really
Right.
have to elevate the debate,
Mhm.
and know about certain teachings to really understand what it means. Maybe we can talk about that some other times. My friends, understand me. It is the divinity of our Mother Earth that we must respect, protect from dirt, and honor infinitely more than all the sanctuaries that have been erected here and there. Because it is our breath that creates the sacred and not the temple.
Right.
In order to protect Uncle Yusuf and Nicodemus, Yeshua is reiterate that they find a discrete location at that point, where they can meet. I mean, it's no longer possible for them to meet anywhere.
Right.
And Yeshua realized that there was still so much to teach, and the hourglass was getting empty.
Oh. Wow.
So
Wow. I like that version of it. That's definitely it feels more real.
It feels more real,
Yeah.
than what has been
Mhm.
told there. And I love the teachings also afterwards
Right.
about this specific energy which is seeping out of this hill,
Right.
in Jerusalem. And I think it's probably one of the reasons why there are so many political issues today.
Right.
And this idea that they have to destroy the temple and rebuild it.
Right.
Yeah, it has to do with
Mm.
the energy which is seeping at this place. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Well, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you so much for tuning in with us. And please like and subscribe. We'll see you soon.